Welcome to AI for GIs, Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. This is Class 15, International AI Competition. Picture this. Your next deployment places you alongside an Israeli unit running AI-enabled border defense. Across from you, a Chinese adversary fields autonomous drone swarms. Back at the NATO headquarters, 32 nations are trying to integrate incompatible AI capabilities into a coherent operation. That's not science fiction. That's the operating environment you're walking into. This class maps the global AI competition. Who's building what, why it matters, and how it affects your mission. We'll cover China's massive military-civil fusion strategy, Russia's asymmetric approach, and what allies from Israel to the EU are doing. Then we'll connect commercial AI breakthroughs directly to the battlefield. By the end, you'll understand why there is no American monopoly in military AI, and why that changes everything about how you prepare for the next fight. I'm Dr. T. Justin Webb. Let's begin. Atomic weapons, stealth aircraft, GPS. For decades, America held technological advantages that adversaries couldn't match for years or decades. AI is different. There will be no U.S. monopoly, no first-mover advantage that lasts. China is aggressively developing robotic systems and data integration. Russia is pursuing electronic warfare, cyber operations, and AI-driven disinformation. Dozens of other nations are racing to develop their own military AI systems. Countries around the world are unveiling national strategies, creating new organizational structures, and investing in research and procurement at an accelerating pace. The competitive landscape you'll operate in looks nothing like previous technology races. Multiple adversaries, multiple approaches, no single dominant player. Understanding this is not optional for military professionals. 6 objectives for today. 1. Identify China's military AI programs and military-civil fusion strategy, including PLA investments across air, ground, and maritime domains. 2. Explain Russia's asymmetric approach, unmanned systems, electronic warfare, and information operations driven by budget and personnel constraints. 3. Describe AI programs across multiple nations, Israel, the EU, the UK, NATO coordination efforts. 4. Explain how commercial AI innovation creates military advantages through dual-use models and open-source proliferation. 5. Assess why there will be no U.S. monopoly in military AI, and how this competition differs fundamentally from past technological advantages. 6. Articulate the strategic implications for military professionals operating in multinational and contested environments. 2,857. That's the number of AI-related contracts the PLA published between January 2023 and December 2024. 1,560 different organizations competing to supply AI-enabled goods and services to the Chinese military. Language models, vision models, autonomous vehicles, virtual reality, logistics systems, robotics, the full spectrum. The mechanism behind this is military-civil fusion, MCF, introduced in 2007 and elevated under President Xi Jinping. MCF doesn't just encourage cooperation between defense and civilian sectors. It specifically mobilizes civilian AI companies to provide cutting-edge technology to the People's Liberation Army. The 2015 military reforms created the Strategic Support Force, integrating space, cyber, electronic, and psychological warfare. The Academy of Military Science established an artificial intelligence research center with several hundred researchers actively recruiting from the civilian sector. This isn't piecemeal investment. This is a national framework designed to convert China's commercial AI ecosystem into military power. What does all that investment produce? Operational capabilities across every domain. In the air, penetrating strike drones designed for communications-denied environments. Dark Sword, Sharp Sword, Star Shadow. A world record 1,180 quadcopter drone swarm demonstrating coordination capabilities that didn't exist 5 years ago. On the ground, shark claw reconnaissance vehicles with autonomous target tracking, retrofitted boulder tanks with autonomous capabilities, active protection systems for armored vehicles. At sea, the Jinghai patrol boat with autonomous navigation for harbor defense. The D-3000 family of combat unmanned surface vessels designed for 90-day independent operation with 540-mile range. For intelligence, AI systems that autonomously fuse data from multiple sources. Deep learning for image recognition across photographic, infrared, and radar sensors. And for command decision-making, AI designed to accelerate ODA loops and help commanders process data volumes humans simply cannot handle alone. Every domain. Simultaneous development, backed by thousands of competitive contracts. The military programs are only half the story. China's commercial AI ecosystem is rapidly closing the gap with American industry. Tencent and Alibaba dominate as China's AI platforms. Superior resources, broad product ecosystems, deep customer data pools, cloud computing leadership. Meanwhile, Baidu's position keeps eroding. Its Ernie chatbot is losing market share to aggressive rivals. Pay attention to the open source dimension. Alibaba's Qwen 1.5 at 72 billion parameters, tied for second with Claude on benchmarks. Chinese open source models from Zhipu AI and Baichuan outperformed Google's Gemma and Meta's Llama 2. The speed of this shift is striking. Chinese LLMs dethroned several US models from top leaderboard positions within a 2-month window between April and June 2024. 2 months. That's how fast the competitive landscape shifted. And every one of those commercial innovations feeds directly into military applications through military-civil fusion. Now the most disruptive player of all, DeepSeek, a 16-month-old Chinese startup outranking established platforms. The secret? Mixture of experts architecture, MOE. Instead of running the entire model for every task, MOE activates only a subset of specialized experts. The numbers tell the story. 43% reduction in training costs. 5.8 times improvement in generation throughput compared to traditional dense models. DeepSeek V2, 236 billion total parameters. But during inference, it activates just 21 billion, 6 of 160 experts. Massive savings in compute and cost. The strategic implication goes beyond one company. When a Chinese startup trains a frontier competitive model for a fraction of what American companies spend, the cost barrier to military AI adoption drops for every nation with access to those open source weights. China isn't copying American AI. It's building an independent, competitive ecosystem at a fraction of the cost. And that ecosystem feeds directly into military applications. Russia takes a fundamentally different approach from China. Less about scale, more about compensating for specific strategic vulnerabilities. President Putin identified 3 priorities: robotic systems, unmanned aerial vehicles, and automated control systems. Technologies that could determine the outcome of future battles. The logic is driven by constraint, decreasing personnel numbers, budget limitations, geography and demography working against conventional force size. Russia's defense industry focuses on unmanned vehicles and AI-based remote control for border defense and patrol. Underwater robots for Arctic continental shelf defense, AI to assist operators in decision-making and reduce cognitive burden. The strategic rationale is clear. Remove humans from the front line to the largest extent possible, while using AI to multiply the effectiveness of a shrinking force. Fewer soldiers, more machines, smarter decisions with less staff. But Russia's most dangerous AI application isn't hardware. It's information warfare, copycat, an LLM-enabled network generating and disseminating disinformation narratives about conflicts like Ukraine. automated content creation at scale, targeting U.S. and allied information environments. State-sponsored cyber actors from Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea are experimenting with large language models to generate phishing content and malicious code. Commercial AI capabilities repurposed for offensive cyber operations. This is a lower-cost, high-impact approach. You don't need a massive military budget to run disinformation campaigns powered by commercial AI. You need access to open-source models and a willingness to deploy them against adversary decision-making and societal cohesion. The threat vector is real. The countermeasures are still developing. This competition extends far beyond three major powers. Israel concentrates AI within elite units. Unit 8200 and Unit 81 deploy operational systems, including threat detection algorithms for Gaza border defense and surveillance tools for Syria monitoring. The IDF even uses machine learning for personnel decisions, service extension predictions, leadership identification. AI integrated across both combat operations and organizational management. The European Union took a regulatory approach. The AI Act, adopted December 2023, world's first comprehensive binding AI regulation. Military applications explicitly excluded, but the Act influences dual-use technology debates and defense AI policy. The UK contributed doctrinal thinking, their lesson from chess. Weak human plus machine plus better process defeated grandmasters with superior computers. Optimized human integration is the advantage, because complex automated systems don't degrade gracefully. NATO faces the hardest challenge. 32 member nations with disparate capabilities and divergent policies. The risk? A two-tier alliance where early adopters advance while resource-constrained allies fall behind. The boundary between commercial and military AI is dissolving. Countries of concern integrate open-source foundation models directly into military and intelligence operations. Signal detection, target recognition, combat simulation, drone swarms, models that run locally without external connectivity. This is already happening. China uses Baidu's ErnieBot to model human battlefield behavior in combat training. North Korea's Kimseki Group uses language models to target intelligence collection against nuclear and defense organizations. The mechanism is straightforward. Open source models provide the foundation. Nations innovate on top of U.S. model architectures. Extract technical knowledge. Build dual-use systems, all at dramatically lower cost. The commercial sector is no longer separate from the defense sector. They are the same ecosystem. Every breakthrough in commercial AI becomes a potential military capability for any nation willing to adapt it. 5 critical points to remember. No U.S. monopoly exists or will exist in military AI. This is fundamentally different from past technology races where America could maintain decades-long advantages. China's approach is comprehensive. 2,857 contracts, 1,560 organizations, military-civil fusion converting the world's second-largest AI ecosystem into military power. Russia's approach is asymmetric. Unmanned systems and information warfare compensating for budget and personnel constraints they can't fix. Commercial innovation accelerates everything. 43% cost reduction, 5.8 times throughput improvement. When frontier competitive AI costs a fraction of what American companies spend, every nation gains access. The future operational environment will feature AI-enabled adversaries across all domains. This isn't theoretical, it's the environment you'll deploy into. What does all this mean for you? AI represents a fundamentally different strategic technology. No monopoly. No first-mover advantage that lasts. You'll operate in an environment where adversaries field capable AI systems across every domain. The nature of this competition defies Cold War comparisons. Multiple competitors, asymmetric approaches. The UK leads in AI talent and safety research, but lags in compute infrastructure. China leads in procurement scale, but depends on open source for some capabilities. Different nations compete through different strengths. Understanding the international AI competition is not an academic exercise. It's a professional requirement. AI responsibilities must be integrated into military education and operator training. Trust calibration, human judgment, awareness of what adversaries can do. This is your operational environment. Next class, we start Module 4 and wrap up the course with strategies for continuing your AI education and staying current in a rapidly evolving field. Don't wait for the next class. Follow AI for GIs on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn for daily AI insights for military professionals.